Hey, welcome to episode 28 of our 30 days of Marvel Rivals education. We are almost done with the series, and honestly, I'm kind of getting sad at this point, but overall, we're going to be doing this and we're going to be hitting the last few episodes as hard as we can. So today's topic is going to be about role mastery, specifically how to basically go all in one role without sabotaging your flexibility. So if you want to try and master everything, you kind of master nothing. I think you guys have all heard the expression of jack of all trades, master of none. You know, that's what we're kind of talking about today. But if you only ever play one thing, you're going to stop growing as a player. So we're going to go around that and kind of see how do you still improve as a player. So why is role mastery so important? Learning one role deeply teaches things like positioning, timing, team fight responsibilities, and cooldown discipline. So like, yeah, that's really cool, but if you only stick to one thing like the entire time, you're not going to understand how to go against that. So what I've done a lot of the times is I try to master one playstyle in particular, and then I'll play every other playstyle a little bit here and there, but I'm not trying to go all in kind of as a way to master everything. So say for instance, I want to play dive and I only play dive, but what I also want to do is I want to play my biggest weaknesses as well. So characters like Emma Frost, Thing, Mr. Fantastic, it's best to still know how those characters work. That way you can still work around those as dive. So it does help to know those other characters, but to continue to master and to continue to go all out, that is how you become a great player in that role. So it creates familiarity under pressure, you know what I mean? Because a lot of players, when it comes to that point where you're just getting that pressure put on, you're not really able to get as much done, you know? So you're going to be able to perform a lot better in the chaos when you are able to master these roles. So that being said, there is a danger of being too one-dimensional, right? So if you only play one role, you're going to become a terrible fill for your team, right? So that's why it does help to be able to dabble in other roles, but you don't need to master them in particular, right? So you can stall in ranked a lot. I've seen it happen so often where you just stall in ranked because, you know, oh no, my character's taken and I can't do anything around it. So that's a bad way to go about it too. That's a huge thing to think about, where that is a big downside to it. Or in general, you start ignoring enemy comps and ally synergies as well. If you're going on dive and the entire team is anti-dive, like you're against a Hulk Namor with the Namor combo, you're against like Thing, all that stuff, and just everybody's countering you, you're gonna have a bad time. And if you can't play around that, then how are you expecting to win these matches all the time, right? Because like there's only so much you can do in these situations. But that being said, flexibility is about knowing your strengths and your counters as well. So that's why I definitely recommend, yeah, you can play this one play style if you're good at it, and if this is what you enjoy. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like, yeah, go for it, 100%. I'm not going to tell you guys how to play the game and what to play and what not to play. Like, guys, at the end of the day, this is your game, right? So don't forget about that. But that being said, it is a really good way to be able to learn multiple characters and multiple roles as well, at least on a surface level as well. If not to just help yourself and help the way you play around them, but to help your team in the situation of when my character isn't viable, when my playstyle isn't viable, I still want to help my team as much as possible. So this is the best way to do it. So as we go on, how do you specialize without getting stuck, right? So what I do have to say is, main one role at the start, but don't pick just one hero, right? Pick two. With that being said, when you're picking two, you can be a little bit more flexible, right? Say for instance, you pick let's say Magic and Spider-Man, right? So that way, when your Spider-Man isn't working too well, you could still play Magic. And that being said, Magic is a character that really does work well with some allies as well. Like, yeah, she's a really good backline slaughterer, and she will take out the enemy healers. But that being said, she does do a lot of damage as well. So if you're not being able to do work as Spider-Man, you're getting countered, you can still play around your team with as a Magic a lot better and a lot more consistently, and you'll be able to help your team out a lot more. So that's why we talk about stuff like that. So like, yes, it's technically the same role, but there are different characters within that role that specialize in different things. So you'll be able to help your team out a lot more if you do this. So what you want to do is you just want to learn one as a backup role for emergency kind of like flex situations. Like, yeah, you're more than welcome to main one character and only one character if that's what you want to do, right? If you just want to play Spider-Man all day, look, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to tell you no, right? Like, this is your game, do that. But if you want to succeed and you want to get a little bit better in competitive and be able to kind of grow a lot more in competitive as well, learn that backup role as well. So what you want to do as well too is a great way to go is rotate your secondary characters as well every like week or like, you know, few matches or something like that. If you have, say for 1 week, you're like, hey, my main character I want to play is Spider-Man, right? You guys know that I don't like Spider-Man in this game, but that being said, I respect how much fun he is. I do, like, I've played him a few times and I understand why people like him. But what you want to do as well is you want to have that backup role as well. So yes, we're talking about Spider-Man, but we're also going to be talking about another role in particular as well. So yes, I was talking about backup characters earlier, but now we're going to be talking about backup roles, you know? So yes, you can play Spider-Man, but if it's not working, say for this week, you're going to be flexing to healer and you're going to be learning healers. Find a character that you enjoy in the healer pool and be able to learn them, play them at a decent level. That way you can help your team when it is time for them to play and for that time to help them as well. Because at the end of the day, if you're just one tricking and if you're getting countered and you're refusing to swap, you're kind of being unfair to your team. So this is a great way to be able to help your team even in those situations where you are just not doing too well, right? So the great way to go with this too is if you practice awareness on the other roles, even if you don't play them as well, this is a great way to learn. Because one thing that I've done a lot is I've kind of learned a little bit of every character, and there's been some characters like Spider-Man, Black Panther, a lot of the dive characters, Psylocke, Magic, a lot of these characters I never knew how to play. I never understood how to play them. I'm a Moon Knight main. I never understood how they work. So what I did is little by little, I learned how each character worked. And then that helped me when I went up against them because I understood now, hey, this is the rotation at which they work. This is the rotation at how fast they can go in and out of a situation. This is their burst damage. This is how they do all of their damage. So this is how you can avoid the damage and then you can counter that. So that is why you want to learn those other roles, but slowly but surely. You don't want to learn them all at once because if you do that, you'll become overwhelmed and that's just not good for anybody. You'll get burnt out on the game. We don't want that. We want you here around. We love having you guys around, right? So make sure that you are not getting burnt out on that. So understanding your role in the bigger picture is probably the most important thing that you can learn for this game. So a few things that we've talked about already, but I just like to hammer them home because I think they're very important. We're going to talk about the 3 roles real quick, right? So for support, you are tempo control, you are ultimate economy as well. You're defensive a lot of the times, and you're about enabling your allies as well. For tank, you are about space creation, pressuring, being a pressure anchor as well. Like you are the one that starts the pressure and you're the one that you're kind of the spearhead of the team. You are basically where the team looks and all that stuff. And you're all about engage and disengaging timing as well. So you know when to go offensive, when to kind of retreat into your shell, stuff like that, you know? And for DPS, you are the finisher, you're the angle controller, you're the one that controls the flanks, stuff like that, and you're about target disruption as well. So make sure that you know that. Knowing your job helps you better understand your team's job as well and how to help them do it. So how do you quickly adjust without abandoning your role, right? So this is the last thing that we're going to talk about real quick. You don't have to like hard swap, right, to flex. You don't have to hard swap at all. You can just adjust your playstyle from within the role. What you want to do is you want to pick a utility focused version of your main, right? So like poke DPS versus like flank DPS, stuff like that. Do stuff like that and communicate to your strengths to your teammates. Be like, hey, I flex DPS, but like I can play like Rocket if I need to. So if you do stuff like that, and if you're able to kind of swap between that, guys, I'm telling you, it will be overall so helpful for your team. The amount of times I've gone to a match, I'm like, hey, I'd like to play Moon Knight. I'm really good at him, but if we need to, I can go on Rocket for heals. I can go Thing for tank, stuff like that. Like I know how to play these other characters as well. So if anybody wants to adjust around me, like please, like all you have to do is just say the word. So yeah, that's kind of the whole thing about flexing is, you know, it's good in certain situations. It's good to also know when you're playing well, even though the stat sheet doesn't say so. Like, please, like, know when to switch and when to kind of stay. It's really important. And also, flexing within your role is hugely important, guys. Like, you can just adjust your playstyle on one character, being from, say, like a Spider-Man. You can go from being a Spider-Man that's diving their backline to a Spider-Man that's just kind of like harassing anybody that's even going close to your supports. Like, you can switch your playstyle but stay on the same character, right? So just think about stuff like that, right? So guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. This is the third to last episode of this series. I'm really excited for this one. So I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys give me a huge bunch of huge giant favors towards the end of this video, if you could just hit that like button for me real quick, that's all I ask you to do right there real quick. Comment, what is your favorite movie that you've seen within the last week or two, or just recently in general? I literally just watched Sinners tonight, and I'm already obsessed with this movie. This movie is phenomenal. 10 out of 10. I definitely recommend it. It's so good. And if you guys could just do me a giant favor and just subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I really appreciate it more than I could ever put into words, and I will see you guys on the next video. Later.